Alright, as I mentioned previously, I have Regolith up, and let's see what's going on here. A little bit of a tutorial on how to use it, at least for basic functionality, maybe a little extra. So first off, we want to log in. You can either choose Discord or Google. I'm going to go ahead and do Discord. You can see in here what it has access to and so forth. The guy who made this is actually a member of UEMC, so it's pretty trustworthy, but alright. So there we go, logged in. So let's go through a few of the different things here. So we've got the dashboard here where we're at. Well, actually that's the home page. So we've got across the top, we got dashboard calculators, which includes your work orders, rock cluster calculator, ship binding, market price. Got data tables with, like, say, the different locations and so forth. So a lot of information here. Even have mining lasers. I see they don't have information here on what it's best for or not either. I'll have to see if I can find that information. And then, of course, we have modules. Mining modules and gadgets both. So you can actually look in here. See, like the Rieger C3 does 25% laser power. And you can get at these locations. And it gives you -1 to your optimal charge window. So you can pretty much look and see what you need from there. Alright, let's go back here. And then, of course, we got the about. So I would say if you actually have the opportunity and you start using this a lot, by all means, please support him. He puts a lot of work into this site. So some of the other features we have here is refinery data we already seen. Market finder, so you can actually find where the best place is to sell it. And this is, he's actually got this tied into UEX Corp, so it's only going to be as accurate as that is, but it's a good rough estimate. Cluster calculators, so you can actually add a rock to it. You can click to scan it. Apparently he changed that. It used to be that way. There you go. So basically you take your scan here. It confused me for a minute there because I know he's doing some stuff with OCR too. So basically put your mass, your resistance, your instability, what it is, and it'll calculate stuff out for you, like how much it's worth and how many SDUs, so forth. Same thing for rock and mining and salvage itself. So for instance, you add a wreck, pick the ship being salvaged. Now these are, I'll have to check with them. I'm not positive if these are up to date with the latest, because I know they changed salvage drastically. Like, we're getting a lot less RMC and construction materials than we used to. But you get the point. He's actually pretty reliable at updating it. So we can go with mining loadouts. If you got a prospector, you can actually pick what you want. So I'm going to go with a Hofstede S1, or we'll go with a Rieger C3. And then we'll go with a Saber gadget. And then you can look at it here. That's how much it's going to cost. If you include the stock lasers. And then you can see, like, your min, max power, optimal range. You're going to, stuff obviously in the green is improvements. Red is detrimental. And white, there's no change, just standard. You can do the same thing for moles. You can actually save your layouts. Again, we got the lasers, the modules, and so forth. So, pretty nice, pretty handy. Work order calculator, so you can do just straight work order without having a session. We're going to actually do a session, so we'll go to the session dashboard. Let's go ahead and we'll click on this one, which is my current one. This is the one I just did on the previous video. So we'll go ahead and hit ship mining. So you can actually take, subtract the transfer fee, different things over here. Pick your different types of refining. Typically, you want to stick with Thinix solventation or Ferron exchange. Those are the only ones I really use too much. Then you pick whatever ones you want. It's selective. If it's selected, it's going to show up down there. So you'll have to put an entry in for it. So just as an example, and this is specific to the refinery. So for instance, I'll pick Cruel 1 where I usually mine out of. Bexolite, let's say I got 1236. And when you're actually looking in the refinery window, you'll see like the quantity and the yield. So you'll put the quantity in and then you get the yield. If you don't, if you messed up, whatever, forgot, you can't actually go in here and just put the yield in directly. Same thing, you take pick where you want to sell it. Pick your refinery fee, sorry, tongue-tied here. And if you have additional users, you could actually add them, for instance, and then they both get an equal share. You can actually give percentage, so forth, whatever. And then you can add notes. You can actually mark it off as paid when they're done, and so forth. And then down here, you enter their time. You just hours and minutes. If you actually have, and basically just do the minutes. You basically just type it in as it goes. So let's say I don't think this will take days, but usually hours and minutes would be fine. I think the game does it that way. I don't remember. I never really paid that much attention. I just punch it in and go. All right. So, and then afterwards, of course, it tells you it's unsold. You can actually composite sell price. He's got a lot of little features in here. You can add additional expensive, like if you have ship repairs or anything like that, or you have like a module blowing off and everybody's going to share the cost equally. You replace it. There you go. You can actually, he's got this import from capture that he does now. I have not tried it. I'm hearing good things about it, but I know he's still working on it. And you can do it either in a screenshot, or you can share your screen with the game, or even upload a screenshot. Any of the three. And then basically, I guess you just hit Control V or... Anyway. So we'll try that at some point down the road, but I don't have anything to put in it right now. And then, of course, once you're done, you just hit save new order. When you do that, I'm not going to because I don't want this on here. So I'm going to discard it, and we'll actually just look at this one. So this is what it looks like when you're done. And as you can see, the time running down. This is, again, the one I just did earlier, a previous video that I made. And it gives you, like, references, what your bulk pay will be, final sell price. And then, of course, what my share, or like if there's more than one person here, obviously it'd be different. And it gives you some notes about it. Now you can invite people to this. For instance, if I go over here, I can invite user joins. I can actually give them this, and then that'll give them the ability to actually click on it. I can actually add usernames, so if it's somebody I already know that's in here, they'll show up, and then you can add them to the session. So if you're doing, like, say, a mining event, you can literally add everybody to it. No problem whatsoever. And then, of course, we've got exports that you can do, invite others, download your session. And then, of course, you can do friends. API access, session defaults, profile, so forth. Standard stuff. And then when you first log in, obviously you'll come to that home screen. But if you click on dashboard, it'll bring you here. And it'll actually give you notifications up here, like you have one session open, one work order that's not been sold, so forth. Um, Tells you if you have an active session. You can check here so you only have active. You can see your stats. So you can actually go year to date. So if we go year to date, I've made 5.74 million just off mining. Total session revenue, I personally made 2.6. And it shows you like what your expenses are and so forth. Crew shares, I can show how much I paid some people here and there for stuff. Actually, it says I owe them, but I've already paid them, so they're good. Helps if you actually pay attention to it, and then you can actually see in here if you're owed by somebody. So these are actually sold. And these are all sold. All right, there we go. So I've got the one session left. Apparently it pays to keep up with it. All right, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Like I said, the ship mining loadouts are nice because he's got the stats in here and so forth. And you can save them and everything. I'll be honest with you, I may not necessarily use all of these features, but I do use some of them. And I definitely use the sessions, and I use these for both mining and salvage. Same thing with, you can use it for mining, rock mining, salvaging, or you could just share. So, like if you're just giving somebody, if you want to share it to somebody, discard that. Salvage wise, you can go in here and use it for that as well. You can even have an alternate seller. So like if your buddy is the one who's actually flying the ship and he's going to be the one to sell, but you started the session, you can say he's going to be the one to sell it. Same thing is, so you can actually add and remove stuff, so forth. So here we've got RMC, CMAT. Apparently you could use the composite add tool here. So you can add something else. So if I add another row for like a component, like say we took all the shield generators off, and I know they're going to sell for X amount, then I can put them in here. Or if I actually did sell them for X amount, I can put that in here. And that'll all factor into the price along with the expensive, like repairs, fuel. If we used any kind of expendables or anything like that, we can do that in there. Again, we can add people in that were on it. So like if you've got that reclaimer out and going and there's 5 of you on it, you can add all 5 people to the work order. And then that way when you're done with your whole session of salvaging, then everybody knows what they're going to get. Obviously some things are not updated yet, as these are changed now. I'm sure he probably knows about it, but I'll mention it to him anyway. So that's that. Let me see if there's anything else. Rock mining is pretty much the same thing. Put whatever you're mining in there like that. I believe these are still pretty accurate. And it works the same way. Again, you can add stuff in expense-wise. You can add expenses. You can add expenses. You can add these. Like if there's more source of income. Like say you guys picked up a bunch of bat crap, whatever, and you're selling it. You can add that in there as well, even though it's not in here. So, I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. You can actually export an image. You can download it, save it wherever you need to. You can actually download the session itself in these various different ways. You can invite others to join, like we said before. And you can actually edit certain things, like you can edit your status and so forth. And then basically anybody that's in that session with you will know what you're doing. So for instance, if you're going to make a refinery run, then you can do that and put it in here. If you're actually doing, like say, a vulture and you're running back to sell, you can put that in there. Especially will work out because you'll have multiple people that are running, like say a reclaimer, maybe a cargo ship, a small cargo ship for taking systems, components, and guns and stuff on, while the reclaimer just focuses on the salvage itself. So I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can use it. It's a pretty extensive tool. So I mean, you're welcome to use it if you want. Like I said, the individual that is responsible for this is actually in the game. He goes by, give me a second here, and I should know this. I talk to him all the time. Here we go. It is Ray Chaser. Is actually the person who made this. He's done all the work on it, and so forth. So shout out to Ray Chaser. Excellent job. We all appreciate it. Hopefully everybody's supporting. If you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know. Other than that, have a nice day.